What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. So with the rework happening in the game, a lot of people are nervous about Pokemon like Blissey not being as good of a gym defender. So of course you're naturally thinking, what could be the replacement for something like a Blissey? So with Generation 4 getting added into the game, I figured that would actually be a perfect place to look. A little bit of a disclaimer is that none of these Pokemon are going to be better than Blissey, but a lot of them are going to be complementary to Blissey, making it that much more difficult for someone to take down. And I have to say that the Pokemon in the first position could give a run for its money because the typing and a couple other things are absolutely incredible. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the top 5 gym defenders of Generation 4. Spiritomb with a max CP of 2072. Spiritomb is a dual type Pokemon of Ghost and Dark typing. This Pokemon is definitely on the lower end of CP, which could play to its advantage in regards to the CP decay. Spiritomb's stats are not particularly glamorous, but the defensive rank could help it hold out long enough to be an okay gym defender. In regards to the reasoning of why it could be good, Spiritomb is only weak to Fairy typing. This is a massive exploitation for Spiritomb because Fairy type quick moves are not in the game. To make things better for Spiritomb, the moveset could prove to be a nuisance. Despite it not having a double Ghost or a double Dark type moveset, you can opt for a Dark Ghost combination. I would personally use Feint Attack and Shadow Ball. With this Pokemon, I am not encouraging you to power it up, but it's definitely a low CP budget Pokemon that could prove to have some use in the gym defense department. Number 4. Drifblim. With a max CP of 2382, Drifblim is a dual type Pokemon of Ghost and Flying type. Taking a look at Drifblim's stats, with a stamina stat of 312, it ranks out at 6th in its stamina, but unfortunately does not have that great of an overall stat due to its defensive stat being so low. Drifblim ranks out at 195th in Pokemon Go. Sometimes though, with bad stats, it makes it easier to determine what you do with this Pokemon as opposed to having choices. Drifblim was destined to defend gyms, having a wide variety of weaknesses but having no double weaknesses. More good news is that it is resistant to fighting type Pokemon, which counters perfectly with the current gym defense meta. Taking a look at the moveset, we will see quite a bit of Ghost type moves. I was personally hoping for a Flying type moveset, but the moveset definitely fits the overall aesthetics of Drifblim. For the moveset, I would recommend Shadow Ball. Normally, I would favor a 3-bar charge move for gym defense, but Ominous Wind gets absolutely destroyed by Shadow Ball offensively and defensively. All in all, it is not the best gym defender by any means, but it could definitely serve a purpose to counter the typical gym meta, and hey, what else are you gonna do with it? Number 3. Tangrowth. Max CP of 3030 CP, a pure grass type Pokemon. So let's go ahead and take a look briefly at Tangrowth's stats before we discuss why Tangrowth could be a decent gym defender. Its best stat is its stamina ranking. This is fairly solid, and with that, an overall ranking of 42 in Pokemon Go. Many people believe that it would become one of the best grass type attackers, but the moveset may prove otherwise. So why would Tangrowth be a good gym defender? Well, let's go ahead and get the first disclaimer out of the way. Grass type Pokemon have a wide variety of weaknesses that include fire, ice, poison, flying, and bug. But it at least does not have a weakness to fighting types. This may sound like a reason to not consider Tangrowth, but Tangrowth was blessed with a coverage move for a charge move, and that is Ancient Power, a 3-bar charge move that is super effective against fire, ice, flying, and bug, only missing out on not being able to cover a poison type moveset. But poison type attackers are not quite as common as the other 4 types. So with that being said, I would recommend using Vine Whip and Ancient Power for this Pokemon that does have decent tankiness. It is not a Blissey, but can definitely provide some variety in the gym. Number 2. Hippowdon with a max CP of 3085. It is a pure ground type Pokemon. So taking a look at Hippowdon's stats, you will see that its stamina stat has the best rank among its stats. A very well-rounded Pokemon with an overall rank of 39th in Pokemon Go, which is quite impressive. With Hippowdon being a pure ground type, it is weak to water, grass, and ice. But there is good news in regards to the moveset. For instance, with the quick move, Hippowdon has access to the move Fire Fang, which can counter grass and ice type to some extent, only leaving a hole for water type attackers. There is also some good news in regards to the charge move because Hippowdon has access to the move Body Slam, which is a 3-bar normal type charge move that will deliver neutral damage to most Pokemon that will be used to counter it. This is rather tanky and it may not directly counter a fighting type Pokemon, but it at least has a coverage moveset with the quick move along with one of the more desirable gym defending movesets known as Body Slam, which is notorious on Snorlax and perhaps a lesser used Pokemon like Miltank. Number 1. Togekiss. With a max CP of 3,332, Togekiss is a dual type Pokemon of Fairy and Flying type. With this typing, Togekiss has a double resistance to both fighting and dragon typing. It is a wall versus common gym attackers. Taking a look at the stats, the standout stat is definitely the defensive stat, but Togekiss overall is very well rounded, ranking out at 30th in Pokemon Go. I do believe that Togekiss is a great addition to the current gym meta that favors normal type Pokemon and can act as a direct counter to gym destroyers like Machamp. Now that we have access to the movesets, there is a lot of flexibility for Togekiss as well. When taking a look at the moveset, you will see that Togekiss has access to both a flying type quick move and hidden power. If the hidden power allowed the fairy typing, we could have ourselves a double fairy type moveset, but for whatever reason, Niantic never included a fairy type hidden power. But besides that, taking a look at the charge move, we will see the ever impressive Dazzling Gleam, which is perfect for the current gym meta. For me personally, I'm going to recommend Air Slash and Dazzling Gleam for the best defensive moveset. But if you do get Aerial Ace instead of Dazzling Gleam, you can decide whether or not you want to TM it, but I would personally recommend Dazzling Gleam over it. So taking a look at this list, I think 2 contenders probably for like a top 5 overall gym defense could go to Togekiss and Hippowdon. Those would be the ones that I would put my money on personally. Of course, you do have some competition with Snorlax, Chansey, and Blissey, but not far behind could be these Pokemon. So that is going to be the question that I will end on. Out of all of these Pokemon, which one do you think could be one of the best defenders? Go ahead and let me know in the comments section below, and if there was a Pokemon that you believe that I missed, go ahead and let me know as well. But if you do enjoy this type of content, I'm going to be covering a ton of Generation 4 content, so be sure to like and subscribe. But with that being said, I will see you next time.